In this video I'm going to show you how to make this lovely Christmas lantern, or how to decorate this lovely Christmas lantern. It's got two side panels the same, and then we've got this on the main panel and that on the back panel and the robins on the top. This is the first of several Christmas themed glass painting projects we're going to do, so if you want to keep up with the videos we release, please subscribe to our newsletter if you're on our website, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to click on the notification bell. Right, let's get on with it and I'll show you how to make this. So here's the lamp we're going to use. When you buy one, I'm not quite sure where this one came from, I think it was mottled, just make sure the glass is removable. I don't know if you can see, but there are small tabs in this one, and all you've got to do is bend the tabs back and that piece of glass should come out. There we go. Very similar with smaller lanterns. Here's an older small one I use for demonstration purposes, and again there are tabs in this one. Bend the tabs back and hopefully the glass just comes out. So let's concentrate on the one we're going to use, which is this. Once you've got the glass out, you can clean it. I've actually already done that with this, and measure it, and then you can work out your design. As normal, I've worked my design out on the computer. If you don't want to use a computer, you can just draw around your glass and work out your design by hand. I'll make the design I've done available, but obviously you're free to do your own. Now, I'm making a Christmas lantern, which is great, but obviously it can only be used at certain, or should only be used at certain times of year. You can always, sorry, we've got a bit of rattle going on there. You can always get a second set of glass cut, and then you can do different designs and then swap the panels over at different times of the year. Right, so I've done my design and printed it out, and as normal I've put it on a piece of board just to keep it flat whilst I'm outlining. There's my glass. I get a bit of glue tack and I'm just gonna fix it down onto the board. So the design's taped on. Be careful, you keep the glue tack quite thin. You don't want the glass hovering too far above the design. There's going to be a bit of a gap anyway because of the thickness of the glass. There we go. I did wonder about this design, whether I should do it or not. Doing a candle on something which is going to have a candle in it. But I think it'll look okay. I've actually, if you look at my designs, I've got different ones. Two side panels are the same, front and back are different, and then the four top panels, which this lamp has, are the same. Right, here's my piping bag. This is actually quite straightforward glass painting because it's flat. If you haven't used a piping bag before, we do have a video on how to make and use one. I'll try and give a link to that. There's the bag. Get my outliner. Into the bag. As normal, don't worry if you put too much in, because we'll be able to put it back in the bottle at the end. Oh, got a little bit coming out the end there. Not enough though, so we should just cut that off to make the line a little bit thicker. It's quite a large piece of work, so want a reasonably sized line. That should do. As normal, I'm going to start somewhere towards the middle and work my way outwards. Always lift and pull. Move your work round so you're not leaning over something you've already done. And lift and pull as much as possible. Right, this is going to take a little while, so I shall carry on and finish this off. And once it's finished, just leave it to dry. Right, I've finished outlining this panel, and whilst it's been drying, I haven't been lazy. I've done all the other panels and they're off drying as well. So time to start painting. As normal, I'm going to start by painting the stronger colours, and in this case red. I shall do the red berries. And then I'll work my way towards the lighter colours, finishing with the white. I'll put a list up on the side, possibly this side, I'm not sure. It could be this side. I'll put a list up of the colours I'm using, but obviously you can make your own choices. For this red, I'm using the Pebeo Vitrail, and I'm using a solid paintbrush. Doesn't matter too much, I just find a solid paintbrush easier to use and easier to clean between colours. Normal glass painting technique, put in and then just tease the paint so it goes up to the edge of the line. Make sure there are no gaps. I will in a minute put my light box on, and that'll help me see if I have left any gaps. Let's put that light box on now, and I apologise if it messes up the picture. There we go, and already I can see there is a little gap down there, so we'll get him. There we go. I should say I did make sure that this work was flat. Got my spirit level out. Doesn't have to be exact, but flat is better because we are flood filling. So if it's not flat, you are going to get shading at one side of your work. Now, you might see there's a little dot of red I've got on there. One of the reasons for doing the paints in this order is I can now leave that to dry and cut it out. Just scrape it off with my craft knife. If I'd already painted, say, the white and dropped red in it, that would look really bad. If I'm painting the white and drop a little bit of the white into the red, that doesn't look as bad. I'll try not to do it, but by painting in this order, I minimise the possibility of having serious issues. There we go. Right, I shall leave that to dry. Whilst it's drying, I'll get on and start some of the other panels. Once it's dried, I'll come back, take off that little dot of red there, that little dot of red there, and then the next colour to do will be the greens. Well, I thought I'd show you a bit more of the painting. Firstly, because I'm doing a bit of a blend here, and I'm using two different shades of green. That's the darker green just going on there. It's important not to get your colours contaminated with each other, so try and keep them separate. So we'll do 2 in the darker green. Like that. Quick clean of the brush. The reason I like using a solid brush, it's so quick to clean. And now I'm just going to drop the lighter green on. Oops, a little bit of an overspill there. I'll get that. And once I've finished putting it on, I can then just blend it. So there's no hard lines between the two. I am just going to put 1 drop more of the dark in there. There we go. Right, and that's a blend of colours. I'll carry on and do the other ones. I also wanted to point out to you this pearl red here. I wanted to make the petals different from the berries. So in the berries I've used ordinary Vitrail red. But in the petals here, I've used what I'm calling a pearl red. I made that up myself. It's 50% of the normal Vitrail red, and it's 50% of this honeycomb effect Prismy Fantasy. Mix them together in the bottle, wait for the air bubbles to come out, and then you get this really nice pearlized effect red. You can do that with any of the colours. Right, I'm going to carry on, and hopefully next time you'll see this I will have finished the painting. Right, we're on the last lap now. As you can see, I've finished painting. This is the main plate. First thing I need to do to finish it off, just get rid of these little bits of paint. Hopefully that's that all done. Now to finish it off, I'm going to use this. This is Gallery Glass. It's a crystal clear, thick water-based paint. Use will become obvious in a minute. Quite like doing this. Now the trick here is to make it as rough as possible. Lots of squiggles. Don't get into any sort of pattern of doing it. Sometimes I end up doing this and it starts becoming a pattern, so then I just go back through it and mess it up a little bit again. Now that's all the main bits done. So what I shall do now is get a little pool like that and use my paintbrush to move that and do little bits I wasn't able to do straight from the bottle. Again, keep it as rough as possible. Don't worry if any gets on the black lines, because as I said, it should dry clear. Or it will dry clear, let's be positive. Right, I think that's about it all done. Let's just rough that bit up a little bit. Make sure we've got all the edges. Now, it doesn't look too inspiring like that, but when it dries, because you've done it rough, it will give this, and I hope you can see this mottled effect. Hope you're catching that. Okay. So it'll have this mottled effect rather than being clear glass. You don't have to do it, but I rather like the effect it gives. Right, as you can tell, this one is dry. This one I shall put to the side to dry. You can always help it out with a hairdryer if I want. And bring back in the lantern. Let me just check, you can see that okay. As you can see, I've started putting the panels back in. Do it carefully, you don't want to crack the glass. But hopefully it should just slot in. And then I'll bend the tags back again. And keep on doing that until they're all done. This is basically the end of our lantern project. I will take some photos of it when it's lit, etc., and put those on the end. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have several more Christmas themed glass painting projects coming out, so do subscribe if you're on our YouTube channel and press the notification bell, or sign up to our email list on our website so we can let you know when we've got new videos out. Hope you all have a great preparations for Christmas. Happy crafting.